My favourite explorer of cold weather lands is a Danish explorer called Peter Freuchen. And yeah, to me he is just like an absolute total legend, because he's such a character. He first got interested in exploring the Arctic areas because he didn't like medical school, and he thought, how can I have an adventure? I'll just get on a ship and go to Greenland with my loose mate. He was a 6'7" giant of a man, big beard, long hair, and he became immediately enamoured with Greenland. Like, no small feat. His greatest exploration feat was actually to traverse Greenland with a dog sled with his buddy Knut. Years in Greenland, married an Inuit lady, and he even founded a town there called Thule, which is like a trading post. So he's just like out there trading, exploring, fathering children, living life as a native. And one day he gets caught in a blizzard. This is where he makes his name for himself. He gets caught in a blizzard while out with his dog sled, and realises that there's no way out, so he sort of turns his sledge upside down. Snow covers him, and luckily he's wearing his nice fur clothing, because he's gone full native for Luina, so it's nice and warm, but he's buried in snow, sort of hunched by this dog sled, and it's covered him. He can't get out. He's trying to punch his way out and claw his way out, nothing doing. So he's very resourceful. He shits himself and fashions his poo into like a little chisel shape. It freezes, and he's able to chisel his way out with his little poo dagger. He says, "I moved my bowels, and from the excrement I managed to fashion a chisel-like instrument which I left to freeze. At last I decided to try my chisel, and it worked."
Blimey.
So yeah, he's chiseled his way out with his own poo. He looks around, he sees one of his dogs is still alive, miraculously. The other one is frozen and is dead. He butchers the dog, repairs his sledge, which was also broken, as he sort of used it as his lean-to. One of the runners was broken, so he uses the butcher's dog rib cage to repair the sledge runner, and sort of just half pulled, half crawling back to his camp with his little poo dagger. I don't know if he butchered the dog even with his poo dagger. Probably. The upshot of all this is he's got horrible frostbite on one of his toes, and he amputates them personally himself with a pair of pliers. Then goes. Like, a few years later, he has to have this foot removed completely because gangrene has set in, and he has a peg leg replaced. Amazing story of survival. But this is not even the least of his adventures. He's involved in the Danish underground against the Nazis. He's actually a Jew, and whenever anyone is talking about anti-semitism in Denmark at the time, in the late 30s, if he hears it, he'll stand up to his full height and say to the offender, "I am a Jew, and what are you going to do about it?" And, he was a perpetual thorn in the Nazis' side when they did take over Denmark. He was hiding Jews and helping them escape, and just generally contributing to the resistance. So he's locked up by the Nazis, but that's not going to keep him if he can escape from an avalanche, basically buried up to his neck in snow, so to speak. The Nazis can't hold him. He escapes. He makes his way to America, where he uses his fortune from a previous marriage. He married the heiress to a Danish butter empire. I don't think it was Lurpak, one similar Lurpak competitor, but he's quite wealthy from that. But in the end, he gets divorced from this lady after his first Inuit wife has died. Actually, the church said that they wouldn't bury his Inuit wife, so he dug a grave himself in the church and buried her. And again, just uses his imposing physical stature to say, what are you going to do about it?
Did he use the shit to dig the grave?
Yeah, he made a shit shovel. This guy is great. Yeah, he writes 30 novels. He stars in his own movie called Eskimo. But it was quite a big hit, actually, Eskimo. Hitler's favourite director, Leni Riefenstahl, went to see it. And, as we said, Peter, he didn't really like Nazis very much. He was aware that she was a Nazi, and he spent most of the premiere sort of chasing her and picking her up and twirling her around his head and just laughing manically through his own premiere.
It just gets better and better. I wasn't expecting him to pick up Leni Riefenstahl and run around with her.
Time Trippers.
Oh, here we are, Jonny, back in the garage.